The night the power died across the valley, it felt as if the world itself had finally given up. Darkness swallowed the narrow streets, the small houses, and the tired faces of people who had already lost too much. In that heavy silence, fear moved faster than the wind. Mothers pulled children close. Old men stared at the sky as if asking it why, and hope felt like a word people no longer dared to say out loud. And yet in that very darkness, one small flame would rise, quiet, fragile, but strong enough to change everything. Before the story goes any further, take a moment. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the quiet power of human goodness, please like this video, share it with someone who needs hope today, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps stories like this reach hearts that need them most. He was not a hero by anyone's definition. No headlines carried his name. No one waited for him to save the day. He was simply a man worn down by life, carrying more loss than luck, living on the edge of a forgotten town where opportunity rarely visited. His hands were rough from years of labor that never paid enough. His back slightly bent not just from work, but from disappointment. Once, long ago, he had dreams, simple ones, but time and hardship had slowly buried them under responsibility and regret. The town itself mirrored his life. Factories had shut down, shops stood empty, and the younger generation dreamed only of leaving. Nights were long and quiet, broken only by the hum of old generators or the cough of engines that barely worked. When the blackout hit, it wasn't just an inconvenience. It was the final reminder of how abandoned they were. No lights, no heat, no signal to call for help. Just darkness pressing in from all sides. As the hours passed, panic began to grow. Hospitals struggled, elderly neighbors sat shivering in their homes, and children cried because the dark felt endless. He watched all this from his small room, lit only by a weak candle he had saved for emergencies. That tiny flame flickered with every breath of air, and as he stared at it, something shifted inside him. He remembered a time when someone had helped him without asking for anything in return, a memory he had locked away because it hurt too much to remember hope. He stood up, pulling on his worn jacket, and stepped outside. The cold bit into his skin, but he kept walking. House by house, he checked on neighbors, knocking softly so as not to scare them. Some were surprised to see anyone at all. Others were too tired to even ask why he was there. He shared what little he had: extra candles, a blanket, a few comforting words. It didn't feel like much, but in the dark, even the smallest kindness felt huge. The real challenge came when he reached the old community hall at the edge of town. It had been closed for years, abandoned like so many other things. Inside, he knew there was an old generator, unreliable but not completely useless. Many had tried to fix it before and failed. Standing there in the cold, staring at the locked doors, doubt crept in. He was no engineer. He had failed at bigger things in life. What made him think this would be different? But the faces of the children he had just seen wouldn't leave his mind. The fear in their eyes, the way their parents tried to hide their own worry. He broke the lock and stepped inside, the smell of dust and rust filling the air. His hands shook as he worked by candlelight, remembering scraps of knowledge from a job he once had, long before everything fell apart. Every sound felt too loud. Every failed attempt felt like confirmation that hope was foolish. Hours passed. His fingers were numb, his shoulders aching, his patience nearly gone. Just when he was ready to give up, when the darkness inside him felt heavier than the darkness around him, the generator coughed. Once, twice, then it roared to life. The sudden noise felt unreal. Lights flickered on inside the hall, weak but alive. He stood there, stunned, tears filling his eyes as warmth slowly returned to the room. Word spread fast. People began to gather, drawn by the light like moths. Children ran ahead, laughing as if the darkness had never existed. Elderly neighbors were helped inside, wrapping their hands around cups of warm tea someone had managed to make. For the first time that night, the town felt alive, not because the problem was solved, but because someone had tried. He didn't stand in front or take credit. He stayed near the wall, watching as people shared food, stories, and quiet smiles. Something inside him healed as he realized that his life, broken as it felt, still mattered. The flame he had lit wasn't just from a generator or a candle. It was the belief that they were not alone. In the days that followed, the power returned, but something else remained. Neighbors who had barely spoken before now checked on each other. The community hall reopened, slowly becoming a place of gathering again, and he, the man who had once believed he was invisible, found himself being greeted by name, thanked with genuine warmth. Life didn't magically become easy. Struggles didn't disappear, but hope had taken root. He started volunteering, helping repair homes, teaching younger kids what little he knew. Each act, no matter how small, felt like adding fuel to a growing fire. He learned that hope doesn't arrive with noise or glory. Sometimes it comes quietly, carried by tired hands that refuse to give up. Just before this story ends, take a moment to comment below. Share where you're watching from, or tell us about a time when someone lit a flame of hope in your life. Your words might inspire someone else who's struggling right now. As he stood one evening outside the community hall, watching lights glow warmly against the night, he finally understood something simple and powerful. You don't need to be strong all the time. You don't need to be perfect or fearless. You just need to act even when your own light feels weak. Because sometimes lighting the way for others is what brings you back to life. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that even small actions can change lives, please like the video, share it, and leave a heartfelt comment. Your engagement helps keep these stories alive and reaching people who need hope. In a world that often feels dark, may we all find the courage to light the flame, just like he did.